Hello dear students. Let's continue chapter number 14, Elements, Compounds and Mixtures. Subject Science, Standard 7th. This is our third part. In the last two parts we learn about elements and compounds. In this part we will learn about mixtures. What is mixtures? Mixtures is an impure substance made up of two or more elements. Can be broken down by physical means. No chemical changes takes place. Substances held together by physical forces. The properties of an element in a mixture remain same and has no formula. Children, you will understand in the simple word. Listen carefully. A mixture is obtained by just mixing two or more substances in any proportion, more, less, you can add any proportion. Means you can mix different elements, you can mix different compounds, mixture will form. The proportion in the mixture is not fixed, any proportion, and no chemical change takes place during the formation of mixtures, and no new substance is formed. Okay, so it's very simple to understand what is mixture. Let us see the examples of mixture. Soil is a mixture, salad is a mixture, soup is a mixture. Okay, now see, can you tell what are the mixtures used in everyday life? See, we can use tea, coffee, right? Bhel, food stuff prepared by cooking. We mix many things during cooking, different alloys, then faloda, stainless steel, brass, air, all these are mixtures we used in our everyday life. Air we will not add here, air is a mixture, but what we use in your everyday life, tea, coffee, faloda, bhel, okay, cooking food stuff, whatever we cook, food stuff, that food stuff. Okay, next question is, are all mixtures useful to us? No. Now you will feel why all mixtures are not useful. The adulterant added to the food, that are harmful mixtures, that are harmful for us. Okay, now next question is, how will you separate each component from a mixture of semolina? Semolina means suji, rava bolte na, that one semolina, salt and iron filings. See, for removing the iron filings, firstly the magnet will be combed through the semolina. Then to the remaining mixture of salt and semolina, water will be added. Now what will happen? The salt will dissolve in water, but semolina will not dissolve. Now this mixture will be filtered. So what will happen now? The semolina will be separated after filtration, and the salt water we can separate. The salt water will then be heated and evaporated. What is still to obtain salt? In this way we can separate everything, means semolina, salt and iron filings. Is it clear? Now see the simple methods. When first of all, when an unwanted and harmful substance is mixed with another substance, the resultant mixtures no longer remain useful. In such cases, we separate unwanted ingredients from the mixture. For this purpose, simple and easy methods we use. Now, which are the simple and easy methods? That we will see. That are such as straining or filtering, sifting, then picking, sorting, winnowing, combing with magnet and sublimation. These are the simple methods. Filtering means what, you know children? To separate the insoluble substances from the solution, we use method that is called filtration, means insoluble substance from the soluble substances. And then sifting is done to separate solids of various sizes, like the larger particles and the smaller particles can be separated by sifting. Then picking or sorting, what it is, by this method a substance that are needed or not needed can be separated by picking. Okay, winnowing the substance which are lighter in weight, very lighter in weight, and those that are unwanted are removed from the mixture, like the grains in the farms are particularly cleared by or cleaned by the process of winnowing. Otherwise, simple example, you can take the coating of peanuts, that is very lighter, so we can separate by winnowing. Then combing with a magnet, if there is adulteration of semolina, we learn now, with iron, the magnet is combed through it, and then comb it for removing these iron particles. And then a mixture that contains iron particles is specially combed with a magnet. Observe and discuss. See, the first picture is about winnowing. Second picture is picking. Third picture is about shifting. Then fourth picture is about filtration or straining. And fifth picture is about churning. We already discussed about the winnowing, picking, sifting, then sorting, okay, filtration. All these methods we use for the separation of unwanted ingredients from the mixtures. Different separation techniques now we will see. Method of distillation. Method of distillation is used to separate solute from solution. It can also be used to remove impurities from the solution and make it pure. See, this diagram is there in the textbook, page number 97. Let us see which apparatus used for this distillation method. See in the diagram, first one is stand, then second thermometer, third one you can see round bottom flask, fourth one is burner, fifth one is net, we can also call wire gauge. Then sixth one, inclined tube is there, glass tube, that is the condenser. Then seventh, you can see the flask, it is called conical flask. Here down one tripod stand is there, 3 legs stand, so it is called tripod stand. So these apparatus we use for distillation method. Now what we can do here, take some salt water in a round bottom flask. You can see the blue color, yes. Take some salt water in a round bottom flask, arrange the apparatus, then start heating the liquid in the flask placed on the wire gauge. Okay, observe the conical flask. The salt water in the round bottom flask boils on heating. The water in it vaporizes. When the water passes through the inclined tube means condenser tube, it gets cooled due to the surrounding cold water and condenses to form water. Thus, the drops falling into the conical flask, see blue color again in the conical flask, seventh one, are of the water from the salt solution in the round bottom flask. So, salt remains behind at the bottom of the round bottom flask now. When all the water has collected in the conical flask, this method is called distillation. So, here salt and water separated from the mixture of salt water. Okay, what we have taken in the round bottom flask, salt water, mixed salt water. Then we separated salt remain in the round bottom flask at the bottom, and water is separated in the conical flask after boiling. See, use your brain power, children. Is the water that falls from clouds naturally pure? The water that falls from the cloud is naturally pure, but as it descends down in the form of rains to the surface of the earth, various harmful gases are dissolved in it and become impure. Second question is, which properties of a liquid are seen in the distillation method? Now we have seen distillation method. So the which properties are there? The liquid has a particular temperature for boiling point and also a particular temperature for condensation. These two, boiling point, condensation, these properties are used. For what purpose is distilled water used? You know, distilled water used in the research experiments, because impurities are there, then we won't get the results. So in the research experiment we use distilled water. It is also used in the car batteries. In some countries the sea water is purified, distilled and then used as a potable water. Okay. Next is method of separation using separating funnel. When two immiscible liquids, children, immiscible means the liquids which cannot mix. Example, oil and water. Oil and water will not mix. Two layers we can see of oil and water. When two immiscible liquids are to be separated from one mixture, then the separating funnel is used. When a mixture of two immiscible liquids is left undisturbed, two layers are clearly seen to have formed. This diagram you observe, it is there in the textbook, page number 98. Separation method. So, the heavier of the liquids remain below and the lighter liquid float on it. Here in this diagram you can observe which one is the heavier liquid which settle below water, and the lighter liquid floats on it. So which one is the lighter liquid? Kerosene, blue color kerosene. Okay, two liquids in a mixture can be separated by making use of this property. So what we will do here, pour a mixture of kerosene and water into separating funnel with its stopcock closed. Close the stopper. Fix the separating funnel firmly on a stand. Leave the mixture in the funnel undisturbed. Don't shake it. Keep it undisturbed for a while. Water will remain below and kerosene will float on it. Now, without shaking the separating funnel, remove the stopper. Open the stopcock to collect the water at the bottom of the funnel in a beaker. See, in the picture you can observe water is collected in beaker. Okay. Close the stopcock when all the water is collected in the beaker. Now kerosene and water are separated, means, and kerosene remain in the separating funnel and water is in the beaker. You can collect the kerosene in the another beaker. So kerosene and water are separated. Next method is method of centrifugation. Turbid water, ink, milk, buttermilk, blood are mixtures of liquids and insoluble solids. If turbid water is kept undisturbed for a while, the solid particles in it slowly settle to the bottom and separated. The particles of milk or ink do not settle even on being left undisturbed. This is because the particles of the solids in such mixtures, being very tiny and light, remain evenly distributed in the liquid. These particles cannot be separated from the liquid even by methods like filtration or settling. It means the other method of separation such as filtering or settling do not become useful for separation of such fine particles. Then how will you separate such solid particles from the liquid. In the laboratory, a centrifuge machine is used to separate solids from a mixture of liquid and solid. It consists of a disk which rotates like a fan at great speed. There is a provision to attach test tubes at the rim of this disk. Rim means corner or sides. When the tubes attached to the disk rotate at high speed, a force is generated which pushes the particles away from the center. As a result, the solid particles in the mixture in the test tube collect at the bottom of the tubes and are thereby separated from the liquid. Means due to this, the solid particles in the mixtures are thrown to the bottom of the tubes and separated from the mixture. Next method of separation is method of chromatography. If two or more substances are dissolved in small proportion in the same solution, these substances are separated from each other by means of chromatography. Where we use this chromatography method, children? Pharmaceutical science, factories and scientific laboratories for detecting or to find out new ingredients and for identifying and separating components of a mixture. So what we will do, take some water in a beaker. Take a rectangular piece of a filter paper. Put one spot of blue ink on it about 2 cm away from one edge. Keep this paper upright in the water in the beaker. Place a lid on the beaker. After some time, the spot of the ink is seen to have risen and collected at a particular height on the filter paper. If there are two or more constituents of different colors in the ink, they will be seen to have risen to different heights due to their different colors and thus appear distinct or different from each other. Okay, instead of chalk stick, instead of filter paper, we can use here chalk stick also. In this method of separation called chromatography, two properties of substance are used. Which two properties? First one is the solubility of the substance in the solvent that moves up, and second property is the ability of the substance to stick to the stationary filter paper. These properties are mutually opposite and are different for different substances. So it is useful. As a result, all the components of the mixture do not rise all the way to the upper end of the filter paper but remain behind at different heights and separated. Thank you, children.